ahead and get started. Today is beginner's yoga. So it's going to be more of a pretty chill flow, really learning the different poses a little bit, holding them a little bit longer to really understand them, and offering many variations and modifications so it makes it accessible for you. Beginners, I know that sometimes yoga can be very, very challenging or misunderstood, or you feel like you have to be super flexible to do all these things. So I really want you to be encouraged to know that the intention behind yoga is for you to become flexible. So that's why you started in the first place. And then it helps with all kinds of other things. So today we begin with meditation. So typically beginner classes, I like to start with a little meditation and get everyone grounded. And so you can sit. A couple things you're going to need is a pillow. Grab a pillow or the pillow you used when you slept with last night. A pillow. You can grab a blanket. I tend to sit on a little Mexican looking blanket that we buy, but you can always use a beach towel and fold it up in half and then fold it again until it's thick enough for you to be lifted up enough so that you can have your hips slightly over your heels. We tend to have our knees way up here and we round our spine. So the intention of sitting in easy pose is to work towards letting the knees come down and lifting up through the spine. So you want to have a nice tall posture even in this simple pose. If you don't have a block, which looks like this, then you're going to want to maybe bring something like a water bottle, or if you have maybe a coffee mug or something that you'll be able to support yourself when we do poses that require a little bit more support and balance. Good morning, baby C. And then another rolled up towel for anything that you'd like to support your knees with. This happens to be an Ashtanga mat, but you can have any type, an additional mat or a big towel or another blanket. Or you can simply, and I'll show you later how we roll the mat while we're practicing to support your knees. And that's that, my friends, my beginners. Now let's go ahead and get started. So you will come into your comfortable seat. And from here you want to tilt the pelvic floor forward. And you want to lift up. Good. Now roll your shoulders up towards your ears. And then relax. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. And relax. Now notice your breathing. Are you holding the breath when you get up here? Probably. Exhale. So intentionally breathe in and lift your shoulders. Now drop, exhale. Nice. Now can you do it in and out the nose only? In through the nose, lift. Now exhale through your nose. And laugh at yourself if you didn't do it. It's okay. This is a brand new breath. It's called 3-part breath. And we're going to begin by first allowing yourself to close your eyes and just relax. And now begin to breathe in and out without any stress on what this is supposed to feel like or all the things. Just breathe. Just breathe. And now begin to deepen the breath. As you inhale, maybe count in your head to 3, 4, or 5. As you exhale through the nose, the same count. And invite your hands to rest on your knees. The backs of the hands might rest on the knees while the pointer and thumb finger touch. As you're breathing, invite your crown to reach towards the sky more. Relax your mouth. Relax your eyebrows. Notice if you can softly hear the sound of your breath. Remain here as this morning's meditation comes from Tosha Silver from her Change Me Prayers book. And beginners, continue breathing to 3, 4, or 5 on your inhale and exhaling, maybe even slightly longer. In this space of meditation, widen the net of your hearing. Listen beyond the mundane, superficial plane. Listen past what you hear. Notice how it touches your heart. Deep breath in. Out the mouth. Lips together, in and out the nose. It's entitled Soda. It's entitled The Sacred Meal. When a particularly intense desire has been cooked in the fires of offering and detachment, it eventually transmutes into a preference. And sometimes the process is painful as hell, because lifetimes of attachments, delusions, and addictions are being stripped away and transformed. But eventually, if the offering is sincere, you become free of this bondage. You just let go. Detachment has come. Change me, divine beloved, into one who offers you my deepest longings, trusting you know exactly how to handle them. Lead the way completely. Free me from my chains. And please let me know my wholeness and freedom most of all. Bring the hands to your heart space and the palms touch. Today we offer an intention, a prayer, or wish, an offering of what we offer to let go of. What do you wish to release the most? Desires, longings. And then as an invitational Om, the sound of the universe, you're welcome to chant this sound with me as we close and seal the offering to the divine. Inhale. Gently open the eyes. Sweep the arms up towards the sky, nice and tall. And then exhale, come forward over your legs. And for my beginners, you might be very high, okay? And this is a nice time to get those tools out and help yourself here, okay? Notice how this feels in the hip flexors. And let's come back to that breath. Big breath in. And as you exhale, draw your belly button in a little bit and see if you can walk your hands an inch or two further. And begin to recognize that each time you invite an exhale, that's when you allow yourself to melt into the pose a little bit more. The exhale invites you to settle into the space of strength. And the inhale invites you to prepare yourself, to set yourself up to receive that strength. And right at the edge, when you notice the muscles are working a little bit more, and not so much tension, just the edge, take a deep breath in and relax everything. Now, begin to walk yourself back up. And right till you get to about a peak point, a halfway point, reach the arms up. And now exhale, let's release the hands down by your sides. Notice what your legs feel like, and if this is uncomfortable for your knees, extend the legs out long in front of you, or change the position of the legs. Just like that. Inhale, arms up. We're going to take a tilt over to the right. So the right hand comes down, reach through the left, go as far as you can, and now bring your tushy down. Good, so that your hips are not going with your arms. We're going to keep the lower body down. We're going to roll our shoulder back and look up, like we're revealing our heart to the sky. And then reach your fingers more. If your shoulder feels a little funky, maybe bend your elbow and support the back of your head. And then on your next breath, we're going to come back through center, release that hand down, and let's take the other arm up. Reach, 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 reach. So you stretch out through the side body. And then let the hand come down and start to go all the way over. And then roll the right shoulder back here. Good. Look in the direction of the sky. If able, also take notice how your neck feels here. Look up more or maybe look down, depending on how the sensation is. And now let's come up. Inhale. Up, 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 and release. Very good. Inhale, shoulders lift. And roll the shoulders back and down. And do this one more time. Inhale, shoulders lift. And please release that down. Good. We're going to transition now into what is known as child's pose to begin. So here we're going to take your props, have them nearby, because if you're finding it very hard, then I'm going to help you make it easier as best I can without seeing you in front of me. But I may pretend I can see you in front of me. Okay, so some people like the knees together, and that's good. You can do the knees together, and what you'll do here is you're going to come forward, and your head's going to touch the ground. Your hands can be out in front of you, okay? Or your hands can be down by your sides, and just let your shoulders hood over, okay? For others of you, you much more prefer the wider one. I'm going to encourage you to keep your knees wide. And if you can see my toes, toes touch. Okay, toes touch, knees wide. You are going to bring your hips in the direction of your heels and come down. Now, and do the same thing all the way down. Now, everyone else that's like, whoa, this is like really intense. Get that rolled up towel, place it behind your knees, and notice how that feels. If that's, I don't like it, okay, no problem. Then take it out. And then you are just going to make sure your knees and your hips are in alignment. And this is where you take that tall block or your pillow and place it down. And rest here, my friend. Couple breaths more. So you want to make the pose accessible to you. And y'all, if you ever have a question, you're always welcome to email me or comment, and I will help as best I can to answer that for you. Now when you're ready, we're going to come up onto all fours. So if you're in this modified one, you're just going to lift up and take your hands down. Everyone else, sweep your way up into the all fours. To make this comfortable for your knees, sensitive knees, friends, roll this mat, make 3-ply, okay? Or take your other tools and place it underneath your knees. Knees beneath the hips, like we're crawling on the floor like a little kid. And then my sensitive wrist friends, this might not be comfortable for everyone. That's where you have those blocks. That's where we have the pillows. And also be mindful, sensitive wrists. Utilize something to keep the wrist at a diagonal. So you're not putting all this weight, all this pressure in your wrists. And then the last option is forearms. Always welcome. You can take the forearm version as well. Fists. So we are going to do cat-cow. So we drop our belly down and we lift our tailbone and push the mat away to look to the sky. So you're creating a smiley face with your spine. And then as we exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under like you're creating a Halloween kitty. But don't go too much. Just feel it. There you go. Feel it. And then drop the belly and lift the chest. Good. This helps to clear out a lot of things. You might hear Caroline coughing in the background because she's clearing out a lot of things. Because that's what this pose does. It really, everything we do in yoga beginners, one thing I should let you know is don't eat 2 hours before class. Because the yoga practice works the organs. so it works through the digestive system, helping you to cleanse and to process your food. So we continue to move the spine, rolling through one direction and another. You will eventually, for those of you that are comfortable tucking your head, tuck your head and look down towards your toes. And then look up. And let's come to tabletop. So back to the all fours, long spine. From here, we are going to extend the right leg long. If you want to start with your toe on the ground, you can. And then lift your left arm and just see how that feels. Okay? If you feel comfortable here, take a nice deep breath in. And then an exhale out. And start to play with lifting the right foot off the ground. Turn the toes in the direction of the ground so it's more of an internal rotation. And take a few more breaths. And you'll be topsy-turvy, wiggle, wobble. So squeeze the glutes and squeeze that right leg. Reach to the left arm, really firm. Good. Draw the ribs towards each other as you exhale. And relax your jaw. Good. Nice. Squeeze your butt more. Yeah! Good. And now take your left hand down, take your right knee down, and sit back, shake it all out. Shake it out. This is a sweet spot to rotate the wrist, to roll. If you want, you can reach your fingers back and push into your hands to get a nice little wrist stretch too. So you can do that. And then we're going to come to the other side, friends. Other side. Good morning, squirrel. Okay, it's a squirrel. Now other side. Squirrel. Right arm forward, left leg back. And this is a good option, hang out here. Also know, friends, you don't have to lift either one or other limb. You can just stay and try one at a time. Lift that back leg if you feel okay, all right? And then push through your heel as though you were standing on the back wall. A lot of energy, I know. And then reach forward like I'm pulling you forward. I'm pretty strong. I'll probably pull you pretty far. So resist me from pulling you forward, okay? And now take a breath in. And as we exhale, release your right hand down and then take your knee down. And then shake this out, move around, and then sit back and rotate your wrist. You always want to alleviate anything that was built up. Anything that's built up, alleviate. And y'all can take that for whatever. There's so much you want to release. Now we're going to come back to tabletop position. And we're going to come into downward facing dog. Not everybody loves downward facing dog. It's okay. You'll get past it. We will work through it together. There's other options, okay? So for downward dog, you want to tuck your toes. It's a hard pose. So don't get caught up in your heads. Wrist parallel to the front edge of your mat, beginners. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Please push into all 5 finger pads. And now push into the palms of your hands. Your whole hand is pushing into this mat, okay? Now turn the inside, the eyes of your elbows, the creases of your elbows, turn them to face forward. And now roll your shoulders away from your ears. So you should have a big opening here, kind of like in the cat-cow pose. Now, tuck your toes, hips to the sky, lift the knees, hips to the sky, push the front of the mat away from you, and draw your stomach towards your thighs. Bend your knees. Bend your knees more. Bend your knees more. Bring your stomach to your thighs. Good. Now, from here, take a deep breath in. Don't hold it. Push into those hands. Arms are probably shaking. Look toward your toes. Squeeze those legs. Spin the inner thighs as though you're holding a block. If you have one, place it between the thighs and squeeze it. And then take your butt to the sky. A little more. And 2 more breaths. You're pushing into the ground. Now, if your wrists are sensitive, then bring your forearms to the ground. You'll just be in what's known as dolphin pose. Relax your jaw. Keep rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And we're going to do one more breath here. I know it's a hard pose. And your exhale, your favorite child's pose. Now that you know it, those of you that have a block between your thighs, go ahead and remove the block. Draw your knees to the ground or together and toes touch, hips back, forehead down, relax. Child's pose. Deep breath in and out. Allowing yourself to relax and nourish between each transition. Each pose, really receive its blessing. 2 more breaths. Very slow, you're going to come back up to downward facing dog. So let's first journey into the all fours position. Reposition your feet, tuck your toes, hips high, push the front edge of your mat. Your heels do not have to touch the ground. They do not have to touch the ground. It is not a mandatory requirement of this pose. Get a nice stretch through the spine, hips high. Look forward, my friends, and walk your feet close together towards each other. Now, you're going to start to move the right foot forward so that you can step it forward between your hands. Take your left knee down to the ground. For some, this right foot is going to stop way back here somewhere. That's okay. Just bring your knee down. Take your hand to your foot and bring your foot forward. And that's that. Then, once your foot is forward, this is where you can use your tools to help you bring the earth to you. You can have your hands at your thigh, knee over ankle for the crescent lunge. When we push forward a little bit, we open up through the hip flexors and the psoas. The arms can come up, 5 breaths. There's options here too. So you can take the hands together, you can take your hands to your heart, or you can take the hands behind you. Keep looking up. Deep breath in, deep breath out. When you get to breath number 5, remember, squeeze everything tight. Your body's always nice and dynamic. Exhale the hands down and frame your foot. And then take that right knee back to meet the left. Tuck your toes and make your way back to downward dog. Here's where we do what's known as walking the dog. I know it sounds funny, friends. You're just going to bend one knee and then straighten the other leg all the way down, even pushing the heel down if you can here, because you're being able to distribute the weight differently. And then here you're going to just bend the other knee and drop the hips over so you can get a stretch. You're even going to let the weight shift in the hands as well. And then again, walk it back and forth. So this is known as walking your dog. And sometimes we offer this, you can offer this to yourself in more advanced classes if you feel a little tired but want to keep that energy high. Then just walk your dog instead of taking child's pose, matching your breath to the motion. Fun fact of the day. Now inhale, let's go ahead and take the left foot forward. Remember, you can help your buddy out here as much as you can. And then untuck your back toes. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, and that's going to help you bring up your belly button a little bit. Now you can walk up to your thigh, gaze forward. You want to find a focus point. Again, keep tight in the lower body, and then start to bring the arms up wherever you want to bring them. And then have a gentle smile on your face so you're not grimacing. That's not cute. And then take your lower ribs towards each other so they don't sway out. You're not like that, but your core is active. Why I say this is because you want your core muscles strong so they can protect your spine. Exhale, hands down. Now take your foot to meet, or your knee to meet its buddy, and tuck your toes. Let's come up to the downward dog. Please roll the shoulders away. It's going to be a lot of work in those arms. You're going to feel it, you're going to shake, you're going to laugh, you might cry, but it's okay. It's all good. We're going to walk forward now with our feet to our hands. And keep a very generous bend in the knees. This way, your tummy and your thighs can touch. And your hands might touch the ground. Or, if that's not the case, bring your supports so that you can have the hands touch the ground. Now, from here, you want to tuck your head and look behind you. Shake your head yes, and shake your head no. In this pose, it's known as an inversion. Whenever our head goes below our hearts, this is a sweet spot to have some self-discovery. Not that it's fun to find out that we have vertigo or that we get dizzy, but it's nice to know that if we have those things, this is where we would discover. So be very careful because a lot of blood is rushing up or down right now. It's rushing in the opposite direction. We stay here for a couple more rounds of breath. This is also a modification for a headstand and handstand. And then inhale, come up to halfway. So your hands are going to walk up to the shins. Remember, keep those legs slightly, little knees bent a little bit here. You're going to push your hands into your shins and spin the inner thighs back. This is a sweet spot to use that block and place it in between your thighs to squeeze that block. Zip up on the exhale. Push your hands into your shins and look forward. Okay? Now exhale, bend the knee slightly and fold until your stomach touches your thighs. Your hands might come behind your shins, head down. Now, inhale, come all the way up. Squeeze that block, come up. Take your time. If you bring your hands to your hips, bring your hands to your hips, pause, and then come up. There's no rush in yoga. No rush. Now, take a nice deep breath in, close your eyes, and just take it all. If you got dizzy, keep your eyes open, please. If you need to come down to your knees, please come to seated on your knees. Do not close your eyes. Do not lay down and close your eyes. Keep your eyes open if you're dizzy. Just focus on something in front of you. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you're dizzy, your chakras just got all shifted and you're waking up. It's all good. It's all good. Just bringing yourself back to center. Everyone else, we're going to bring those hands up to the sky. And then on the exhale, squeeze that block. Hinge at the hips, bend the knees slightly, take a forward fold. Remember, if you're dizzy, stay with the head above the heart. Don't come down yet. Take your time. And then inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, squeeze that block, look forward. Tushy goes back, gaze looks forward. Exhale, roll yourself down with love. And then come all the way up. So this is a half of a sun salutation. And we come all the way back up. And bring your hands to heart. Take a nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to add a little bit more. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at hips, bow forward. Remember, for those of you that discover that you might get a little dizzy, maybe you hang out about halfway. For those of you all the way down, hands to halfway, we'll meet them there. Look up. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to step back into what's known as a plank pose. So for those of us with our block, go ahead and remove your block, place it out to the side. Plank will do, it's more modified today. So your hands are going to go down, so I'm going to suggest you bend your knees a lot here so you can place your hands down. And if that's not happening, then let's go ahead and use those blocks if you have them and place your hands on the blocks to bring the earth to you. Okay. From there, let's step those legs back, long extension, and then draw your knees right down. Walk your knees back a little bit more so they're nowhere underneath your hips, okay? Your shoulders are over your wrists. If this is intense, especially for sensitive wrists, I'm going to ask you to come down to your forearms for forearm plank instead. And that way you alleviate all stresses, okay? For everyone else, you are going to explore extending one leg long and the other for full plank, and for those of you in forearm plank, the same thing. Both legs are going to go back, okay? You're going to want to squeeze your core super mucho and resist the urge to dump into the shoulders, okay? You're going to push actively into those forearms, or for those of you lifted, you're going to push actively into your hands. Breathe, because this is where we tend to hold the breath. Bring awareness to where your butt is. Sometimes your butt's kind of high in a baby weird downward dog. So you want to bring your butt in alignment with your heels. You want your shoulders to pull apart from each other, almost creating a mini cobra hood. Good. Take one more breath and smile. Good. Now take your knees down. Here, let's take 3 more breaths. This is the modified version. Keep that tummy nice and strong. We're going to come to child's pose in just one more breath, y'all. You got this. Here we go. Resting pose. Knees down if they're lifted. Toes together. Hips back. Reach, 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 reach. Relax. Sweet spot here. A couple more options in child's pose because I can never come up with enough, right? Bend the elbows. Support your head with your hands. This is always a sweet option. 2 fists. Become a pillow if you don't want to bring the props or don't have any. Send more breath into the back portion. Notice the ribs expanding on the inhale. Visualize your breath as a wave of energy that washes over you. Well, I know beginners that yoga in the beginning can be challenging. So really give yourself permission to be an observer today. Just be an observer. If something doesn't fall right with you, then we work on something that can make it a little bit more accessible. Let's take one more breath here. And then draw the arms out in front of you if they aren't there already and push into your hands. And then on your next inhale, roll your way up through cat spine, looking towards your toes, arching the spine, and then lengthening the spine into tabletop. Let's tuck the toes and take the hips up into downward dog. Remember, keep your knees bent here. Push that mat away from you. And then walk our feet forward, all the way forward. And now we're in that forward fold. And sometimes we're like up here rounding. So really bend your knees and let your tummy melt there. And then relax your head. Hands to the shins, halfway lift. We look forward. Beginning to straighten the legs, squeezing the thighs inwardly, and then exhale, rolling back down. As you squeeze the thighs inwardly so they open up the hamstrings, helping you to get a nice stretch, Root to rise, push actively down your feet as you lift up to the sky and the palms touch. Hands come to the heart. Let's invite warrior one. The right foot remains forward. Focus all the energy is from the hips down here, okay? Left leg is going to step back about a leg's distance. If you step too little bit, you're doing like a teeny tiny baby pose. It doesn't do anything. Walk back, please. At least 3 feet. At least 3 feet minimum. Now your back foot, you're going to want to turn your back foot so it's about a 45-degree angle. Okay? That's to protect your ankle, friends. Your front knee is going to journey over the front ankle. Okay? Ultimately, this pose, you'll have your right thigh parallel to the mat. But to begin, we're working on getting into this pose, into this shape. So your hips, you want them to be in the direction of squares. So you want the hips to face forward in warrior one. Arms are going to come up. Your back leg is straight. The front one is bent. You're pushing more into the outside back edge or heel of your foot, side of your foot, almost as though you're lifting the inner arch of the back leg. Breathing is conscious here. Belly rising, belly falling. And take note of your shoulders. Notice if you need to bend the elbows more into what we call goddess arms with the elbows bent. That's always a sweet option. Builds endurance and stamina. And now from here, we're going to step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, reach up to the sky, all the way up, 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 up. And then bring your hands to touch your heart. Now keep the left foot right where it is. Step the right leg back. Nice big step, big happy step. Even if you did a baby step, then make it a bigger step. Not too baby, just medium, 3 feet or bigger. Back foot about 45. Bend into the front knee. And really just go to the extent of your edge. Those with knee replacement, knee surgery, recovery, you might not even be able to bend the knee even that much. So as long as you have something going on here that you're adding that bend to squeeze your thigh muscle to protect and nourish your knee, then you're in the pose, okay? Hips are gonna go forward, hands can stay down. This is okay. Keep drawing the energy forward and lifting your heart. Back leg is straight. Okay, now with your front knee, those of you that are in the bend, you only want your knee over your ankle. No need to take it further than that, y'all. And then arms are going to go in the favorite position. So you can have your goddess arms. You can reach up to the sky. You can reach behind you. Keep the ribs in, so no sway out. Bring everything in. Tight, tight, tight. Tight, tight, tight. And remember to breathe. So there's a lot of thoughts, a lot of stuff. We call all this stuff, they call those, it's known as called chitti vritti, the monkey mind, chitti vritti. And it's really cute to say, chitti vritti. That's why we do yoga. Get out of the monkey mind. This time, my friends, when we come out of this one, we're going to take our hands down to the ground. And from here, we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Let's walk our dog and paddle our feet. Now, walk your hands to meet your feet. Laugh at yourself if you went the opposite way. Now, shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Very simple. And now from here, please walk your hands up the legs as we come up to standing. Clear the space. That means clear the space around you. Hands out wide, allowing anything that doesn't serve you to be pressed away. We are going to discover our tree pose. For tree pose, you can come to a wall, beginners, because it has to do with balancing. And you're going to want to put your energy into your right leg, squeeze your thigh muscle, squeeze your butt, and also keep in mind you're going to want your hips over your heels and your shoulder over your hips, okay? You want to be in one plane. Then you squeeze everything nice and taut, and you take your left knee out, and your left heel will touch your right ankle. Your toes can stay on the ground. That's fine. You might touch your wall here. You might hold your couch or a chair, and really bring attention to your belly. As you're breathing, notice the contraction in the abdominals. Really squeeze. The more you squeeze through the core, the easier the pose becomes. The center of gravity is typically the pelvic girdle. As we squeeze everything in here, we find it easier to explore options of taking the arms out, up, down, or maybe just keep the hands right where they were. Continue to breathe. Look towards the horizon or something beautiful, something that doesn't move. Resist the urge to lean back. Might lift your toe off the ground. Oh my gosh, very good. And now, let it go. It's all good. Shake it out. Sometimes you need to really shake it out through the legs. You put a lot of energy in the ankle. We'll work towards alleviating that as you develop in your practice. Let's come to the other side now, friends. Like to spread the toes like the Little Mermaid. And then push actively down. So this is your tree trunk, your redwood, your oak tree. And then you're going to lift up. Now turn your knee out. Bring your heel to touch. Lift your arms if you like. This is your tree. Fine, I'm cool with it. If you want to take the heel to touch the ankle, do your tree. Cool with it. All I ask is you do not put your foot on your knee. If you're doing it, you're very naughty. You need to bring your foot either down or up to prevent any type of irritation or adding any tears to your meniscus because of the pressure you ultimately put on your knee. So please practice safe. You have a couple more breaths here. Stay nice and strong. Again, toes can be on the ground. Touching the wall is fine. River dance is fine. You're working on it is good. Don't look at me if I did that because everyone's going to fall. Good. Smile. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay, here we go. Let's go out of it. Shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. It's almost that time, friends. Let's make our way down. So we got our balancing in. We've got our sun salutation. We did all the fun things. And now it's time to rest, right? So let's come. Let's get all of our tools nearby and keep them within arm's distance, friends. Because the last thing you want to do is get out of a pose when you're in your zen to then get back into it. You know what I'm saying? So let's make our way down. To do that, top of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Bow forward. And now let's walk back a little bit. There's that plank again. And now you have the option to take the knees to your modified plank. We're going to skip the what we call chaturanga because that's a little intense to teach, but we're going to bring ourselves to child's pose. And then from the child is when we roll our way up to seated. Now from here, again, sensitive knees. This is where you would want to sit on something and take your feet apart. Sit on a pillow or a block. If your knees are apart, that's fine. That's fine. Ultimately, they come together, and I will teach that on a separate, in its own tutorial. Now lift up, roll the shoulders back. This is known as hero's pose. It's extremely good for the knee joints. If this is not working today because it is sensitive too, there's always a give and take, catch-22s. Then take your legs out in front of you, maybe work with one knee bent to start, progressing ultimately the other one. Stay here a couple more breaths. If able, take the hands behind you, maybe reach for your seat, back of your chair, for your blanket, or interlace your fingers and roll your shoulders back. Let's open up the chest. And please look in the direction of the sky. You can use a sock here to pull apart with your hands to get the stretch. You can use another a rag, so you always have some options. And then let's kindly begin to release the hands. And we're going to make our way all the way down to our tushies. You can release your feet out in front of you. Scooch down. Hands forward. Roll down. So you just lazy, roll down, scoop under, and roll down. Now we're on the ground. Now we're on the ground. And slide your knees in and hug yourself here. Rock from side to side. Gentle. We're going to take our supine twist. Please extend the left leg long and let the heel touch the ground. Your right knee is hugging in, and you're going to take your left hand to your right knee. Left hand, right knee. Left hand, right knee. Right hand extends out to the side, like in a T position. From here, listen close, your right knee is going to turn over to the left. Your gaze is going to look to the right. So your eye gaze is going to be in the opposite direction of your knee. This is known as supine twist. So you're nourishing your spine down from the coccyx all the way through the cervical. This is really wonderful to alleviate any tension through herniated discs, specifically in your lumbar. If you're feeling sensation through any sciatic nerves, then this is a sweet spot that you can utilize any blocks or pillow so you're not so far in the twist. Just a little baby one instead. That way you're not aggravating anything, but you're alleviating, which is the intention. My classes are like workshops for your body. On your next breath, inhale, come back to center. Draw your left knee in and take the right leg out now. Don't just switch into the next pose. You want to transition consciously. Release the right hip down fully, left knee in towards the shoulder. Right hand to the left knee. Keep the right leg active through the pose. And then release the left arm out to the side as you twist to the right. Gazing is to the left. And then again, if you have any sensation or sciatica or flare-ups or nerve issues, you want to give yourself that permission to take it easy. Maybe you roll back a little bit and you're just getting the intention of the twist, the shape instead. That's fine too. That's fine too. You're still reaping the benefits of the pose as long as that the head is turning to the left. And then when you're ready, let's come back to center. Inhale, give ourselves a little hug. Draw both knees in. Draw both knees in. Get really, really, really tight here. You want to get like really tight like a little ball. Maybe even lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Squeeze everything everything in. Pucker up your face, squeeze your eyes, stick out your tongue, all the things. And then on the exhale, you're going to release and let the hands go, let the legs go, and let your hands come down by your sides into Shavasana. This is known as final relaxation pose, beginners. The legs go long on the mat, and this is also where you can gather all your yummy tools, all your yummy props, all that yumminess, and make your Shavasana nice and cozy. It's like making your bed. Making your bed. And you're going to hear a gentle sound known as a singing bowl for the next minute and a half that we're in Shavasana together. And then I'll sing to you our closing mantra or song, and then we'll bless and enjoy the day so you'll know what's coming next. For those of you wrapping up your practice, it's been an honor and a pleasure to spend this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for chair yoga. For those of you in Shavasana, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale fully. If you have sensitive lower back, I'm going to invite you to bend your knees. Place your feet on the floor. Knees can rest touching each other if you like. And take this time to be okay with what it's like to close your eyes. To soften your gaze. Finding maybe a spot on the ceiling to stare at. Allowing this wave of energy to wash through you as you relax a little bit more. Particularly intense desire has been cooked in the fires of offering and detachment. It eventually transmutes into a preference. And sometimes the process is painful as hell, because lifetimes of attachments, delusions, and addictions are being stripped away and transformed. But eventually, if the offering is sincere, you become free of this bondage. You just let go. Divine Beloved, change me into one who offers you my deepest longings, trusting you know exactly how to handle them. Lead the way completely. Free me from my chains. And please let me know my wholeness and freedom most of all. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Ganesha Govinda. Ganesha Govinda. Ganesha Govinda. Ganesha Govinda. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Begin to gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. And allowing this time for yourself to slowly arise and awaken. And slowly invite your way into a comfortable seat in seated meditation as we close our class together.